Protect the flock, we rally in the lion's den. Shield to shield, the storm is thundering. Unleash the roar, let the lions run. Torch the night until the battle's won.
All right, welcome back to the Lion's Den, Wednesday edition. We're going to finish this book on the 6-day counts. I've been reading this book for 6 years, it feels like, but we're going to finish this book, all right, today. And then next week, we're going to get into more route protection stuff because I want to get everybody ready for September 1. That's when everything starts back up. Like I said, I believe next year you're going to have a joint process. I do. I believe that. But still, getting down section 2 of the M39 handbook is invaluable. It is, because that deals with route inspections. Any memos, you're going to adopt things out of section 2 of the M39. So I've put them all, just staggered them all back to back to back on these episodes. That way, if that's what you want to do, be a specialist in one thing, route inspection is one of those things. It's invaluable to your station, could be invaluable to your district, could be invaluable to your area. And so if that's what you want to do, you want to have a specialty, route inspection is one of those. We're going to have, when we talk about dogs of war, we'll have several different areas that we're going to have experts in. Like if you go back and you sign up for Dogs of War for the Toxic Working Environment, you go back and listen to those episodes over and over and over again that deal with the JSOV, things that you're going to put in the JSOV. Are you looking at those things now? Because you got a year. You know, the CLC is going to win next year, and we're going to hit the ground running. From day one, we're going to hit the ground running and implement these things. That's the fact. And so I've already got teams in place, people in place that are going to implement these things, and we're going to address the workroom floor. That's a priority of James, and it's a priority of mine to address the workroom floor. So if you're signing up for any of these things, make sure you're getting in there. That way, and I don't care. I've had people say, I've never filed a grievance before, but I'd love to do it. Get those things down pat. When you come in there, all the different forms, all the different contractual provisions, the joint statement itself. So to me, you can never learn enough, right? And so if you can do the CLC one favor, is get yourself ready. Get yourself ready, because on day one when we take over, we're hitting the ground running, okay? And so, and we're attacking the workroom floor. So here we go. The final episode on the 6-day count booklet. And I couldn't be more happy. I cried a little before this episode because I was so excited to not have to read this any longer. I have edited probably 10 hours of yawning. And last week, I don't know if you heard me laughing, because I think I'd only been in it 15 minutes. I'd already yawned like 16 times. And so my eyes start watering. Like I said, it's immediate. I could go outside and be doing jumping jacks and running around. As soon as I sit in this chair and pick this up, my eyes start watering. It's like my eyes are begging me no. They're saying, please don't read this any longer. And so, but yeah, we're going to get through it today. Today's the last one. So thank God. But next week we'll get into route protection stuff. Okay. And then that's where we'll go after that. Eventually I'm going to get into the basics, shop steward basics. If I'm a shop steward day one, what do I need to know? What do I need to learn? What are things that I need to look out for? That's what I want to get to, but I'm going to get to this while the summer's here. This data doesn't count. I want to get us ready for 6-day counts, and if they have a new process. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Existing route summary report. This report can be generated when management adjusts routes using the core program. It is important for stewards to request this because it shows the values of the routes in a zone or unit as they exist before any adjustment, including office time, street time, allied time, and possible deliveries. This information can be used in conjunction with the adjusted route summary report, which is a similar report that shows the zone after the adjustment is done. NELC representatives should compare the totals on the existing route summary report with those on the adjusted route summary report. If any of the totals on the adjusted route summary report are lower than those on the existing route summary report, the time changes must be documented, explained, and validated. An example of this report is below. And if y'all think it's boring reading or listening to me read, I've had a number of people reach out saying they want me to read the JCAM in its entirety. Could you imagine that? Just listening to me read the JCAM? But there was a movement at one time saying, we want you to just read the JCAM. And I was up for it. I said, hey, if that's what y'all want me to do, read the JCAM, I'll read it. But thank God that died down, right? And so on this example report, you see the date and time the report was generated. The example was generated on 2/8/11 at 9:25:34. Below and to the left of the time and date is a zone or zip code that is being adjusted. The attached example is for zone 3326. The far left-hand column is titled Route ID. This is the actual route number. The second column from the left is titled POSDEL. This column shows you the number of possible deliveries on each route before the adjustment. On the example report, Carrier 1 has 629 possible deliveries. The third and fourth columns from the left are titled Street Time. These columns are subdivided into two columns, Allied and Delivery. The Allied column shows you the amount of Allied street time on the route in hours and minutes. The Delivery column is the total amount of evaluated street time for the route before the adjustment. On the example report, Carrier 1 has 2 hours and 27 minutes Allied time and a total street time of 7 hours and 4 minutes before the adjustment. The fifth, sixth, and seventh columns from the left are titled Office Time. These columns are subdivided into three columns, Net, Standard, and Factor. The Net column is the evaluated office time for the route before the adjustment. In the example report, Carrier 1 has an evaluated office time of 1 hour and 14 minutes. The STD column is the standard office time for the route over the evaluation period, either in a joint process or during a 6-day route count and inspection. In the example report, Carrier 1 has a standard office time of 1 hour and 14 minutes. The Factor column is the office factor used to transfer office time from one route to another when territory is transferred. In the example report, Carrier 1 has an office factor of 0.118. This means that for every delivery transferred from Carrier 1 to another route, 0.118 minutes of office time will be taken from Carrier Route 1 and added to the gaining route. The column on the far right is titled Route Time. This is the evaluated total time for the route before the adjustment. When the total street time from the Delivery column is added to total office time from the Net column, the result is the total route time. On the attached example report, Carrier 1 has a total route time of 8 hours and 18 minutes before the adjustment. Each column has a total amount for the zone at the bottom of the report. On the example report, this zone has a total route time of 130 hours and 36 minutes and a total Allied time of 30 hours and 39 minutes. Remember to compare these totals to the totals on the adjusted route summary report. And if any of the totals on the adjusted route summary report are lower than those in the existing route summary report, the time changes must be validated and then documented on the Form 1840, reversed and explained during the consultation. Adjusted Route Summary Report. This report can be generated when management adjusts routes using the core program. It is important for stewards to request this because it shows the values of the routes in a zone or unit as they exist after the adjustment, including office time, street time, Allied time, and possible deliveries. This information can be used in conjunction with another report called the Existing Route Summary Report, which is a similar report that shows the zone before the adjustment is done. Once again, NELC representatives should compare the totals on the Adjusted Route Summary Report with those on the Existing Route Summary Report. If any of the totals on the adjusted route summary report are lower than those on the existing route summary report, the time changes must be validated and then documented on the Form 1840 reverse and explained during the consultation. It is also important to note that because this report may be generated and changed numerous times during the adjustment, stewards should make sure they have the final report. An example of this report is found below. On each report, the date and time was generated is shown at the top. This example was generated on 2/11/11 at 9:48:58. Below and to the left of the time and date is a zone or zip code that is being adjusted. The attached example is for zone 3326. The far left-hand column is titled Route ID. This is the actual route number. The second column from the left is titled POSDEL and shows you the number of possible deliveries on each route after the adjustments. On the example report, Carrier 1 has 697 possible deliveries. The third and fourth columns from the left are titled Street Time. These columns are subdivided into two columns, Allied and Delivery. The Allied column shows you the amount of Allied street time on the route in hours and minutes. The Delivery column is the total amount of street time for the route after the adjustment. On the example report, Carrier 1 has 2 hours and 32 minutes of Allied time and a total street time of 7 hours and 1 minute after the adjustment. The fifth and sixth columns from the left are titled Office Time. These columns are subdivided into two columns, Selected and Factor. The Selected column is the total amount of office time for the route after the adjustment. The Factor column is the office factor used to transfer office time from one route to another when territory is transferred. In the example report, Carrier 1 has a total office time of 1 hour and 12 minutes and an office factor of 0.118. This means that for every delivery transferred from Carrier Route 1 to another route, 0.118 minutes of office would be taken from Carrier 1 and added to the gaining route. The column on the far right is titled Route Time. This is the total time for the route after the adjustment. When the total street time for the delivery column is added to the total office time from the Selected column, the result is the total route time. On the example report, Carrier 1 has a total route time of 8 hours and 13 minutes after the adjustment. Each column has a total amount for the zone at the bottom of the report. On the example report, this zone has a total route time of 131 hours and 46 minutes and a total Allied time of 31 hours and 31 minutes. Remember to compare these totals to the totals on the existing route summary report, and if any of the totals on the adjusted route summary report are lower than those on the existing route summary report, the time changes must be validated and then documented on the Form 1840 reverse and explained during the consultation. Allied Time Report. This report can be generated when management adjusts routes using the core program. It displays the Allied time for parcel and accountable delivery associated with territory moved to or from each route in a zone. Stewards can use this report to identify Allied time associated with territory moved from one route to another and to ensure that the appropriate Allied time was transferred to the gaining route. An example of an Allied time report is shown here and on the next page. The following will walk you through this example report. Below the title of the report, you will find the zone or zip code that is being adjusted. The attached example is for zone 3326, followed by the date and time the report was generated. The attached example was generated on Thursday, February 10th, 2011 at 7:22:32. You should make sure that no territory has been moved since the report was generated. If it has, simply ask management for a copy of the correct report. The report lists all the existing routes in the zone. The Allied time per route is divided into two sections, transferred plus fours and non-transferred plus fours. The Allied time listed under transferred plus fours does not mean that the time has been transferred. It means that the territory containing Allied time has been moved to another route. Management must manually move this allied time. Allied time never automatically transfers from route to route. The fourth line of the report identifies the first existing route in the zone, Route City 1, in the example report. Look at the columns on the left side of the page under Transferred +4s. You can see the zip code +4, the block range and street name of several sector segments. The first entry on this example is 1701 to 1799 Northwest 111th Terrace and has a zip code +4 of 2262. Sector segments that have been moved to another route will show up here only if they contain allied time for parcel or accountable delivery. The columns on the right side of the page show you the type of allied time and the amount of time in seconds associated with each sector segment. The far right-hand column shows which route the sector segment has been transferred to. Look at the first entry of 1701 to 1799 Northwest 111th Terrace. You can see that this sector segment contains 53 seconds of accountable delivery. You can also see that this sector segment was transferred to Route City 12 by looking at the far right-hand column. It is important to remember that this report does not signify the time has been transferred. It only shows the amount of parcel and accountable time associated with the sector segments. Stewards can verify the transfer of this time by reviewing the Form 1840 reverse for the gaining route. A description and explanation of the Form 1840 reverse can be found beginning on page 131 of this guide. The non-transferred +4 section is read this same way. The only difference is that all sector segments listed under this section remained on the existing route during the adjustment. Route Summary Report. This report is generated when management completes the adjustment using CORE. This report is important because it contains a variety of information about each route. It is broken down into 4 sections. This guide is designed to give you a clear understanding of all the information on the Route Summary Report. We will look at each of the 4 sections separately. The box on the top of the report has the title Route Summary Report. Below the title, you see the zone or zip code of the unit. The zone on the example report is 3326. On the left side of the box, you see the date and day of the week the report was generated. This example was generated on Monday, March 28th. On the right side of the box is the page number. Below the box are 2 lines that tell you what office transfer mode and volumes were selected for this adjustment. On the example report, the office transfer mode is demonstrated performance by relieved carrier and the volume is full coverage. Next, you see a section on the top half of the page 1 that gives you some basic information about each route. The far left-hand column lists the route numbers. The second column over is titled Possible Deliveries. This tells you the number of possible deliveries on each route. On the example report, City 1 has 697 possible deliveries. The third column over is titled Allied Time. This column shows you the amount of allied street time in hours and minutes on the route after the adjustment. On the example report, you can see that Carrier 1, or City 1, has 2 hours and 32 minutes of allied time. The fourth column from the left is titled Street Time. This shows the total base street time for the route after the adjustment. City 1 has 7 hours and 1 minute of street time in the example report. The fifth column from the left is titled Office Time. This shows the base office time for the route after the adjustment. In the example report, City 1 has 1 hour and 12 minutes of office time. The sixth column from the left is Priority Time. This shows the street time associated with the priority deliveries that will be made prior to any deliveries not designated as priority. This is often used on business routes to accommodate early delivery. In the example report, City 1 has 20 minutes of priority time. The far right-hand column is the total time for the route after the adjustment. This is the total time for the route when the base office and base street times are added together. In the example report, City 1 has 8 hours and 13 minutes of total route time. Allied time details. The next section of the report is a breakdown of the allied time for each route into 6 categories. These are the allied times credited to the route after the adjustment. All times in this section are in minutes and seconds. The first column on the left lists the route numbers. The second column from the left is the loading time for the route. In the example report, the loading time for route City 1 is 38 minutes and 41 seconds. The third column from the left is the travel to time for the route. This is the time credited to the route to travel from the office to the first delivery. If Core changes the travel time for a route, it must be documented and explained on the Form 1840 reverse. The new time proposed by Core must be validated as well. In the example report, the travel to time for City 1 is 10 minutes and 1 second. The fourth column from the left is the travel from time for the route. This is the time credited to the route to travel from the end of the route back to the office. If Core changes the travel from time for a route, it must be documented and explained on the Form 1840 reverse. Again, any change to this time must be validated. In the example report, the travel from time for City 1 is 12 minutes and 54 seconds. The fifth column from the left is the travel within time for the route. This is the time credited to the route for traveling from park point to park point or from one geographic area to another. If Core changes the travel within time for a route, it must be documented and explained on the Form 1840 reverse. Any change to this time must be validated. In the example report, the travel within time for City 1 is 1 minute and 44 seconds. The sixth column over will show you any deadhead time that is built into the route. In the example report, City 1 has no deadhead time. The far right-hand column shows relay time credited to the route. On the example report, City 1 has no relay time. This is normal for a route with all mounted curbside deliveries. Park locations. This section shows the total number of park points and relays for each route. In the example report, City 1 has 1 park point and 1 relay, as discussed above. The relay time column in the Allied Time Details section shows 0 relay time. This indicates a problem. You should investigate to see if in fact there is a relay on Route City 1, and if so, how much time needs to be associated with this relay. Territory Transfer Summary Report. This report can be generated when management has adjusted routes using the Core program. This report will show you the number of deliveries before the adjustment, how many of them are still on each route after the adjustment, and what percentage of deliveries are still on each route. It also shows you the amount of delivery time, not including allied time, on each route before and after the adjustment. We will walk you through the example report shown below. The topper of the report has the title, Territory Transfer Summary Report. Below the title is the zone or zip code that is being adjusted. This example is for zone 3326. Below the zone, you will see the day of the week, date and time the report was generated. This example was generated on Friday, February 11th, 2011 at 8:00:26. The far left-hand column is titled Route. This is the route number. The next 3 columns over are all part of the retained possible delivery section of this report. The second column from the left is titled Model. This column shows you number of deliveries the route retained after the adjustment is made. In the example report, City 1 kept 316 of the original deliveries after the adjustment. The third column from the left is titled Exist. This column shows you the total number of deliveries the route has before an adjustment is made. In the example report, City 1 had a total of 629 deliveries before the adjustment. The fourth column from the left is titled Percent. This is the percentage of deliveries that the route kept. In the example report, City 1 kept 316 of 629 deliveries. So this route kept 50.2% of its deliveries. If you look under the percent column, you will see 50.2% for Route City 1. The next section over is titled Route Inspection Delivery Time. It is divided into 3 columns: model, exist, and percent. The model column is the amount of delivery time retained on the route after the adjustment. This is not the total street time for the route. It does not include allied street time. In the example report, Route City 1 has retained 3 hours and 13 minutes of its original delivery time. The exist column is the amount of delivery time on the existing route before the adjustment. This is not the total street time for the route. It is only the amount of time recorded as actual delivery time. It does not include time recorded as allied street time. In the example report, Route City 1 had 6 hours and 9 minutes of delivery time. The percent column shows you the percentage of delivery time remaining on the route after the adjustment. For example, City 1 had 6 hours and 9 minutes of delivery time, and 3 hours and 13 minutes of that delivery time is retained from the original route. 3 hours and 13 minutes is 52.1% of 609. If you look under the percent column for City 1, you will see 52.1%. Route Relations Summary Report. This report will show you how much each route has changed and where the territory came from. This report can be useful when arguing that management failed to keep scheme changes to a minimum as required by Section 242.232A of the M39 Handbook. The following will walk you through the example report shown below. Below the title is the zone or zip code that is being adjusted. This example is for Zone 3326. Below the zone, you will see the day of the week, date and time the report was generated. The attached example was generated on Wednesday, February 9, 2011 at 13:51:23. The far left-hand column is titled RS Route. This is a temporary route number that Core uses during the adjustment process. This number often will not match the actual route number. The next column over will show you the actual route number. The actual route number will have an asterisk next to it. The second column from the left is titled Exist Route. This column shows you the existing route, the route before any adjustment is made, and any other routes that the existing route is gaining territory from to make up the new route, the route after the adjustment. In the example report, an asterisk appears by City 1 in this column. So City 1 is the existing route. This will also be the route number after the adjustment. Below City 1, you can see routes City 7 and City 12. This tells you that City 1 gained territory from these routes. The third column from the left is titled Possible Deliveries. This column shows you the number of deliveries that make up the new route, the route after the adjustment. In the report you are looking at, City 1 kept 316 of its possible deliveries. City 1 is picking up 513 possible deliveries from City 7 and 46 possible deliveries from City 12. The column on the far right is titled Percent Possible Deliveries. This column shows you the percentage of deliveries remaining on the new route and the percentage of deliveries being transferred from the losing route or routes. In the example report, the previous column showed you that City 1 was keeping 316 of its possible deliveries. This column tells you that those 316 were 50.24% of the possible deliveries on City 1 before it was adjusted. This column also shows that City 1 picked up 513 deliveries from City 7, which were 42.5% of the possible deliveries from City 7 before it was adjusted. Additionally, 46 possible deliveries were added to City 1 from City 12, which were 5.30% of the total possible deliveries on City 12 before it was adjusted. To look for the next route, look for the next RS route entry in the far left column. Next, look into the Exist Route column for a route number with an asterisk and follow the same pattern of reading the report as described in our example. We'd like to thank you for taking time to read this guide. We hope the information and advice provided will help you better represent letter carriers when management violates the national agreement while evaluating and adjusting routes through the traditional 6-day route counting inspection. And so there you have it. There is the book. We finally made it. I'm much older now. I'm grayer now. My goatee had some dark in it before. It's all white. And so that's reading an entire book for you. It will help. There's a lot of people who reached out and said, thank you for reading it. And so, we're going to get through it. That's the 6-day count. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about route protection. Okay? So any new stewards, pay attention. Route protection. And how we're going to protect our routes as city letter carriers. Okay? So during the summer months, from 8 arbitration, we're doing heat safety. Very hot. I delivered today, and my uniform is drenched because I have a walking route. Here's the thing. On a walking route, you sweat much more than you do on a riding route. On a riding route, it's hotter than it is on a walking route, right? When you're in that vehicle, you don't sweat near as much as you do when you're on a walking route. But it's hotter in the vehicle. You're in that vehicle for 6, 7, 8 hours, and it's 130 degrees. Just think of what that's doing to your body. And so when you're walking, like me, you're sweating a lot more, but you're getting a lot more breeze. And, when you got shade, you're constantly walking under trees, or you got the breeze hitting you, which you do not have in a vehicle. You just got a fan. You're like a microwave oven, an air fryer. And so keep yourself safe out there, city letter carriers, all right? There's nothing more important than your safety, right? And so I will talk to y'all Sunday. We'll have John Murphy with Next Generation Carriers. We will have a lot of podcast voices on there talking about heat. And so that will be Sunday the 13th. I'll also have Miss Pam Donato on from 8 Arbitration. She is part of the CLC ticket. You will love that lady. You're talking about a strong, powerful advocate for the city letter carrier, Miss Pam Donato. You're going to love her. And then we'll do a couple of heat things after I talk with her, okay? So y'all have a fantastic rest of the week. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate. Keep that head covered, okay? Do everything humanly possible to keep yourself safe. I love you very much. I love you, city letter carriers. Now, if you listen to all these episodes, you're an official union nerd, right? So you can join the club. If you took the time to listen to all these episodes of me reading, you're officially a union nerd. So congratulations. I'll talk to y'all Sunday, all right? I love you. Bye.